In ancient Greece, a man could be called a slave, even if there were no chains on his hands. Not because another man controlled him, but because he was controlled by his own desires. The Greeks believed if hunger, fear, pleasure, lust, or laziness can dictate your actions, then you are not free. You belong to your instincts. And that is exactly why they created one of the harshest systems of willpower training in human history. They did not try to make a man happy. They tried to make him master of himself. For the Greeks, willpower was not violence against yourself, not meaningless suppression of emotions, not self-torture for the sake of suffering. Willpower was the victory of the higher part of the soul over the lower one, reason over instinct. And to achieve this inner authority, they turned life itself into constant training. The gymnasiums of ancient Greece were not just places for exercise. They were factories of character. Young men were taught not only to run, wrestle, and throw spears. They were taught to keep moving when the body was already screaming, "Enough." Training happened under the burning sun, barefoot, on scorching sand. Pain was seen not as an enemy, but as a tool, because in moments of extreme exhaustion, a person discovers for the first time who truly controls his life, the mind or the body. The Greeks even created a special word for training the spirit, ascesis. Today, this word is associated with denying pleasure, but originally ascesis meant only one thing: exercise, training, the constant practice of mastering oneself. Some philosophers went so far that modern people would consider them insane, the Cynics, followers of Diogenes. They deliberately sought humiliation, cold, and discomfort. They begged statues for money to train themselves to accept rejection calmly. They walked barefoot through snow to prove that the body should not command the mind. They destroyed within themselves the fear of public opinion, because a person dependent on the approval of others is already not free. But Sparta was even harsher. At the age of 7, boys were taken from their families and turned into warriors. They were given one cloak for the entire year. They were trained to endure hunger, cold, pain. The idea was simple. If a man learns to conquer himself, he becomes almost impossible to defeat in battle. The Spartans understood something many people have forgotten today. The body gives up far earlier than the mind. But the Greeks believed the most dangerous battlefield was not war. It was the human mind. Socrates said, "People do evil not because they are evil, but because they do not understand what is truly good for them." That is why the real battle happened inside the individual. Before giving in to temptation, the philosopher would ask himself, who is speaking inside me right now, reason or my stomach? And in that moment, the true training of willpower began. Not with fists, not with shouting, but with honesty toward oneself. Later, the Stoics transformed this into a complete psychological system. Every morning they imagined the worst possible scenarios: illness, betrayal, loss, failure. Not because they were pessimists, but because an unprepared mind breaks under surprise. When hardship finally arrived in reality, their will was already prepared to meet the udar. But one of the most powerful practices happened at night. The Pythagoreans held an inner trial every evening. Before sleep, they asked themselves 3 questions. Where did I fail? What did I do right? What duty did I leave undone? Every day became an examination of one's own conscience. This is how they transformed self-control into habit. Even music was considered a weapon by the Greeks. They believed certain melodies made a person courageous, disciplined, and composed, while others weakened the mind and softened the will. That is why they carefully chose not only food for the body, but food for the mind. What to listen to, what to look at, what to think about. And perhaps the greatest question of the ancient Greeks is more relevant today than ever before. If your mood depends on pleasure, if your attention belongs to algorithms, if desires control your every decision, then are you truly free, or have your chains simply become invisible? The Greeks believe true freedom does not begin when nobody commands you. It begins when you are capable of commanding yourself.